Fitness. My name is George Ethan Cox. I'm your RYT 200-hour certified yoga instructor. This program is brought to you by three partnerships: Yoga with George Ethan, Hive Fitness Studios, and Wilkes Recovery Revolution. Be sure to check out our Facebook pages to learn more about these awesome programs. With that being said, this is coming to you live from Hive Fitness Studios. You can catch this program every single week, Saturday mornings at 11 a.m. Available to you in person or online. This is a free program, so be sure to tell your friends and family about it. That way we can continue having these opportunities for you guys. One more thing is this weekend, Carolina is in the fall, is in the town of Wilkes County or Wilkesboro. Be sure to check it out in downtown. It only comes once a year, so this is your chance to enjoy some beautiful music. Folk and bluegrass lovers alike will all be there. Also, be sure to support local at the local venues. There's going to be all kinds of people coming out there, and there's also local shops and places to enjoy drinks and food and whatever really suits you for what you're needing that day while you enjoy some awesome music. But for this morning, we've got an awesome yoga class that is going to feature hand self-care. And this is really good if you might have carpal tunnel experiences, or if you have some strain on the wrist, maybe if you type a lot or play video games, or if you just tend to have weakness in the wrist. This is going to help you build a little bit more strength here. And it's also going to just help you find a really good stretch that might help you find a bit more flexibility. So all you're going to need is to wear something comfortable, find a nice mat or blanket to work on. Make sure you have some space around you, and just bring yourself, and that's the most important part. Again, when it comes to my classes, if you find anything that is a little too strenuous or anything that might feel a bit too advanced, I'm going to provide options for you, but always feel comfortable to ease off, take a breather. If you need to pause, go for it. It's all about getting the most out of your practice. So just know that showing up is the most important part, and follow along, and I'll cue you along the way. Just trust the practice, trust that you're growing and learning, and we're going to have an awesome time. First things first, we'll start off in a nice comfortable seat of your choice. We're just going to take a couple breaths, take your time getting settled. We're going to take a breath here. Inhale through the nose to start. Think nice and tall in the spine. Inhale. And exhale. Maybe close the eyes. Feel yourself grounding here through the sitting bones. Inhale together through the nose. Fill yourself up with air. Sigh it out. Find ease in the chest. Take a couple breaths at your pace now. Just find a nice, smooth, deep breath in. Nice long breath out, maybe experimenting with exhaling through the nose this time. Let's set an intention for our practice. Maybe it's just to learn something new. Maybe it's a word that will guide us. You get to choose. It's your practice. Letting go of the day so far. Putting aside your to-do list for a few moments while we get started here. Those will be there later. This is your time for you on your mat. A couple more breaths as we're just grounding here, setting our intentions, feeling ourselves. Maybe we focus on elongating our breaths, finding a smoother, longer inhale. Nice, long, relaxing exhale out. Awesome. If you haven't already, go ahead and open the eyes. We're going to start by opening our chest cavity here and also finding movement in our arms. So and moving the energy around us. By doing this, we're going to kind of wake up the torso. Inhale, and as we do, we're going to bring our arms up nice and wide, up to the sky. Think nice and long as you reach up. And exhale, float it down nice and slowly. Think the flat of your palms, wiping a wall beside you. Inhale, rise up the arms. Think nice and big as you're inhaling. Exhale, float it down. Again, think the flat of your palms, wiping on an imaginary wall. Inhale, reach up, wiggle the fingers. Open the chest and float it down, painting a wall at both sides. Now, keeping the hands where they are, we're going to do some neck stretches here. Starting to inhale, look up, carve a line with the nose, opening the chest cavity. And exhale, chin to chest, roll that left ear to left shoulder. Feel that stretch in the right shoulder, right side of the neck. Keeping your heart lifted. Inhale here. Exhale, roll it forward, chin to chest. Inhale, opposite side. Feel a nice stretch in the opposite side of the neck here. Exhale, chin to chest. Opposite side, back to the left. Now hold here for a few breaths. Keep your right arm nice and grounded here, but option here to gently place your fingertip on the top of your right ear. Just guiding your head up and over, getting the most out of this stretch. Breathe into that space in the right side of your neck. Finding softness with each exhale. Nice and gentle. Exhale, round it forward, opposite side. We're reaching our right ear to right shoulder here. Keeping our left fingertips nice and glued to the mat here. Maybe option to place the right fingers on top of the left ear, guiding your head up and over, keeping the shoulders grounded for a little extra stretch. Breathe a couple deep breaths here, finding expansion with the inhale, contracting with the exhale. One or two more breaths, just finding ease here. No forcing anything. And relax the hands down. Exhale, chin to chest. Next inhale to roll the head back up. Gorgeous. We're going to do a bit of a twisty turn. We're going to do a little twist here. We're going to inhale, reach the hands up to the sky. Exhale, right palm to left knee, left palm behind you for a little twist. Nice and gentle to start. We're not trying to force or crank anything. Just find a nice natural twist, turning the trunks of our body, squeezing the fascia. Breathe. Think tall as you inhale. And exhale, draw your navel in towards the spine to deepen your twist. Gaze past your left shoulder. Please don't gaze past your left elbow. That might not be wise. And then on your next exhale, walk your hands back to center. Twist to the opposite end this time. Inhale, reach the hands up towards the sky. Think nice and tall. Exhale, twist to the right. Right, nice and gentle. Heart remains lifted. And exhale, draw the navel into the spine to deepen your twist. Couple breaths here. Remember, no forcing or cranking of the spine here. Find softness in the brow. Gaze past the right shoulder. Walk your hands back to center, and we are going to meet on all fours. So take your time getting here. If your hands and wrists are feeling sensitive today, maybe grab a blanket or fold up your mat to place underneath your wrist to give them a little cushion. But we're going into all fours here. We're going to do some cat-cows, starting normally to start, but first take focus in the hands. Spread your fingertips wide like starfish on the mat. Press firmly into all 10 fingertips. Press all knuckles into the mat. Draw the navel in slightly to engage the abs. We inhale, drop our bellies, look forward, tailbones up. Draw that navel in. Exhale, drop the head. Arc that back. Press away from the mat. Press into the tops of your feet. Claw into those fingertips for support. That's the main thing. When your hands are flat on the mat, press into those fingertips to take pressure away from the wrists. Particularly that J, that is the that is the thumb and the index fingers. Do a couple of these. All right, our first hand better stretch here. You can do it with one hand or both. We're going to just do a quarter turn to the left with the left hand and a quarter turn to the right with the right hand. And continue your cat-cow. This might feel a little funky if you're not used to it. Remember, press into the fingertips. Maybe you experiment with kind of rotating your torso just slightly as we are in tabletop. Kind of think like you're a seal in this position here, just a little bit. That's how I think anyway. And maybe if you feel confident, you can continue the wrist to turn an additional quarter turn. Continue your cat-cow as feels comfortable. No pushing or pressure that feels too much. Now another opportunity to rotate nice and gently, nice and slowly. Small little circles here with the body, giving your wrist a little massage. All right. Now rotate back a quarter turn if you haven't already. Already been staying there. And then all the way back to our starting position. All right. From here, walk your hips back. And you can go ahead and shake out your wrists a little bit. That's waking the wrist up this morning. And there's a couple of little exercises that I have here for you. Now, we've already pressed our wrist out and opened our wrist. So we're going to kind of opposite this time, starting gently with thriller arms. So reach the arms in front of you like this. Straighten the head and then drop your fingers facing the floor and wiggle the fingertips. Now, take your right hand and find a gentle pull of the palm towards you. Take your right hand and pull your left palm towards you. Keeping your left arm nice and straight. You can keep wiggling the fingers if that suits your needs. This is kind of counterbalancing what we were just doing. All right, opposite. Thriller arm right hand, pull towards you. Now, it's one of those things where it might feel, well, if you feel pain that is unbearable, that is definitely a sign to ease off. I do not recommend it. So I recommend, in lieu of such, and you can do this even if you have enjoyed these stretches, I'm giving you tools so you can, everyone can have options. Close your fingers into a fist and rotate one way. I'm going counterclockwise to start. And then rotate your wrist the other direction. Kind of warming things up here. And we'll have more time to play around with these, but I just wanted to make sure we started off here. Got to take our time with our little warm-ups here. Maybe you can make figure eights with the wrists. And finally, interlace the fingers like into a big ball and make one big figure eight with this. Beautiful. There's all kinds of things you could do here if you want to while we're still warming up. If you wanted to get back into all fours and also with what I've taught you so far, you can continue as long or as short as you need to. But if you wanted to place your fingers facing you, tops of your palm on the mat, and just pull back just a little bit, not too far. Just time to get a good stretch at the top portion of your wrists. Maybe little baby pulses here. This might be a little advanced for some, but again, I'm just providing options for every party. And again, option if you have a blanket to place that there. And when you're ready and you think you've had a good enough stretch, just shake it out. Whew. Wiggle the fingers, make fists, waking up. You can also pull on your thumb, pull it back. Make sure everything gets some love today in the hands and wrists. All right, now we're moving back into all fours. If you haven't already, we're going to start with our sun salutations. So if you haven't gotten all your wiggles out with cat and cow, do so now. When you're ready, we're going to walk our hands forward just a step, claw into those fingertips, press firmly into the knuckles here. Curl the toes under, press into the palms, peel the tailbone to reach up. Ta-da! We are in Adho Mukha Savasana, downward facing dog. Heart reaches down towards the knees. Pedal it out. Give your feet a little stretch, your hamstrings a stretch here. Breathe deep, and that's the big thing. Please remember to follow your breath here. Use your breath to guide you. I will cue you along the way, but in these poses where we're holding for a little longer, remember the breath. Return to the breath. And again, if you're feeling pressure on the hands, press into the fingertips and the knuckles. Press into the J of the hand, thumb to the index finger, that little fleshy part in between as well. All right. So nice and slowly, I want you to take baby steps all the way up to the top of the mat till we meet all the way up there. So we are forward fold. We're going to inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. You can shake our head a little yes here and a little no. And when you're ready, we're going to slide our fingertips all the way up the legs, slowly rolling up the spine, one vertebrae at a time, till we reach the top in mountain pose, Tadasana. Palms facing forward, heart lifts. Notice how you feel. So we're going to do a little hand stretch, side body stretch. So take your hands into heart center in Anjali Mudra and release the fingers. Press the palms away from the body. Inhale, lift up towards the sky. Inhale. Exhale, turn your palms to the left. Your hips bump out to the right. Heart remains lifted. Inhale to the top. Exhale to the right this time. Now, if this is a little advanced for you, you can always get a strap to hold on to. But this is really good for practicing stretching the wrists. Now, do it one or two more times on each side. Remember, inhale to stretch up, exhale to arc. Inhale up, exhale, wiggle the fingertips, crease at the hips here, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And while you're in that halfway position, we're going to slide that right foot back. Exhale, relax the shoulders. Inhale, swoop the arms forward, up and back. Squeeze the abs here, high lunge. Wiggle those fingers, pull those thumbs back. We're just taking some extra mindfulness to how we're positioning our hands here today. Give yourself some room. It doesn't have to be completely parallel. Your arms can make a V shape. Squeeze those legs into an imaginary line. And exhale, float the palms down. Stay on the right fingertips and inhale, lift the left hand up high for a twist. Exhale, lower that left hand. Plant the palms, press firmly into the mat, and slide that left foot back. And we are in plank. We're going to lower all the way down to our bellies, slide our palms in line with the ribs, squeeze our elbows in together, press into your foundation. Inhale, look forward, baby cobra. Exhale, release. Inhale to press up to all fours. Curl those toes under and we'll meet again in downward facing dog. Take a breath or two here. Remember what I said about pressing into your fingertips. And this time, inhale, squeeze the right knee into the chest, look forward, and plant your right foot in between the palms. Look forward, and exhale. Relax the shoulders. Lift the heart, maybe lift up onto your fingertips. And squeeze those abs in. Inhale, swoop those arms up and back. Palms nice and open. Fingertips nice and wide. Pull those thumbs back. Squeezing those legs into an imaginary line. Head over heart, heart over pelvis. Breathe. Remember your breath. Now this is just a foundationary. In a minute we're going to do a little bit more with our hands while we are in our high lunge, but we're actually going to do it in warrior, so be ready. Inhale, exhale, hands to heart. Keep your heart nice and lifted. You lean forward into your high lunge and step that left foot all the way up, or hop, whichever you are. And we're in Tadasana. How did we get here? Where did we come from? Where did we go? We are standing in Tadasana, just noticing how we feel. Take a breath or two. And we inhale, reach the palms up high. And instead of forward folding, we're going to bend the knees, tilt our hips down and back. Heart remains lifted, keep it lifted. Lower, lower, lower those hips, and Tada, we are in chair pose. Main thing here is to keep your arms nice and parallel, in line with the ears. Breathe, breathe. This is the main thing where you have to breathe. Focus on the breath. And exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift your version. Hands on the floor, shins or thighs. And exhale, forward fold. Plant the palms. Bring back one foot and the other. Lower to cobra or press down to half push up and up to upward facing dog. We'll all meet in downward dog. Beautiful. Let's keep this party going. We're going to inhale, lift the left leg halfway. Exhale, draw that knee in towards the chest, look forward and plant the foot in between the palms. Step that back foot up just a little bit and pivot the toes out. Press into your foundation, all four corners of the front feet, and inhale, lift the hands forward, up and back, warrior one. Find your foundation. I know this is a hands mindfulness practice, but you have to have a good foundation when in warrior. So just be mindful that we set ourselves up for greatness here. Press into that back pinky toe. Widen or narrow your warrior as needed. Make sure your front knee is over your front ankle and doesn't splay out. All right, here's where the fun begins. So, interlace the fingertips up here and point your index fingers, steeple fingers here. Inhale, pull back, draw the abs in for balance. Exhale, arc to the left for a nice stretch here. Keep your wrists trying to squeeze them together. Inhale up, other way. Exhale to the right. Using your legs as a good foundation for balance here is so important. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, break away. Bend the elbows, open the heart. And then forward. A fold forward or lower down to the lunge. Pivot that back foot back to parallel. And step or hop it all the way up to the top. Forward fold, beautiful. Shake your head a little yes, a little no. Maybe grab hold of your elbows and sway gently one side and another. You can inhale, halfway lift your version. Find length in the neck here. And fold, exhale. Bend the knees, inhale, lift your arms up, heart lifts, chair pose. Press up into all four corners of the feet. You are strong here, we're building leg strength. Wiggle the fingertips, pull those thumbs back, and push into the feet, lift all the way up to Tadasana. Or volcano pose, if you will bring your hands together. Lower the hands down to the heart. Notice how you feel. Beautiful. Take a breath. And let's keep going. Inhale, reach our hands up to the sky. Swan dive down. Bring your fingertips to the mat. Bring back one foot and another. Lower to cobra or chaturanga to up dog. And we will meet in down dog. All right, right leg this time. Lower the left heel, lift the right leg up. Exhale, draw the knee into the nose and look forward and plant in between the palms. Doing beautifully. Step up that back foot if needed and pivot that toes out, preparing for warrior one. We're going to inhale, swoop, the arms forward, up and back. And we're going to do the same thing as we did on the last warrior one, where we interlace the fingertips once more and arc each and every way. This way, and this doesn't have to be just steeple arms. You can do, as I did before, press the palms away and up. Inhale, and over to the right to start. Inhale up, exhale to the left. Inhale up, exhale, break away, and hands to heart. All right, bend into that front knee, step all the way up to Tadasana. Beautiful. Inhale, lift the hands way up high. Maybe a little slight back bend. Wiggle the fingertips, hinge at the hips, and forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, your version. Exhale, plant the palms, bring your feet back, lower to cobra or chaturanga to up dog. We'll meet again, downward facing dog. We got one more round, well technically two more rounds of sun salutations. We're doing great. Inhale, lift the left leg up high this time. Press into those fingertips. Exhale, draw the knees in towards the nose and look forward. Inhale, bring it back one more time. Wiggle the toes. And then exhale in towards the nose. From the toes to the nose and plant that foot. All right, bring up that right foot. Pivot the back toes. Inhale, swoop the arms forward, up and back, warrior one. Like we've done before, take your wrists, interlace your fingertips, press forward, up and back. Arc to exhale, arc to the left. Inhale up. Exhale to the right. Draw those abs in. Inhale up. Exhale, release the fingertips and use that opening to open wide to warrior two. See what I did there? Breathe. Head over heart, heart over pelvis. Bring your drishti, your point of focus, beyond the index finger. Nice open. Pull the pinkies back. Inhale, reach forward, drop the back palm, lift the left hand up and over. Peaceful warrior. Breathe here. You can have your right back hand rest on your leg or thigh or wrap around to the front thigh. And cartwheel down until we make ourselves into a extended side angle, which it can have your left fingertips placed on the ground or your left elbow on your left thigh. Reach the hands up. Exhale, float the right hand down. Pivot the back toes. Plant the right fingertips. Inhale, reach up with the left hand for a twist. And exhale, float that hand down. We're going right into the opposite side, so bring your left foot back. Plant the palms, lower to cobra or chaturanga to up dog. And then we'll meet in down dog. All right, opposite side, we're going to lift the right leg up high. Exhale, draw knee to nose. Press away from the mat. Press into those fingertips and palms. Inhale, lift the right leg up high. Exhale, knee to nose. Look forward, plant the foot in between the palms. Go ahead and pivot that back foot. Step up if needed. Squeeze into an imaginary middle line. You're doing beautifully. Inhale, swoop the palms forward, up and back. Bend into that front knee. Warrior one. Virabhadrasana, one. Heart lifts, head over heart, heart over pelvis. Take your hands, bring them together. Interlace opposite thumb on top this time. Press away from the body and up. Draw those abs in. Inhale. Exhale to the right. Inhale. Exhale to the left. Inhale up. Exhale, open wide, warrior two. Oh, that opening's nice. If you want to rotate your wrist, you deserve it. Go for it. Maybe you find a little buoyancy in the legs here. Remember, head over heart, heart over pelvis. Draw your tailbone down just a hair. Inhale, reach forward, drop the back hand, flip the front palm, think up and over as you go into peaceful warrior. Breathe deep. Maybe you deepen your lunge here. Press into that back pinky toe. Heart lifts. Breathe. You got this. And open wide. Cartwheel down. Right fingers reach down to the right foot onto the floor or maybe on a block. Open wide to the right. Extended side angle. Maybe your right elbow's on your thigh. Maybe your hand isn't on the ground. It's up to you. All right, lower the left hand, pivot the back foot, and lower the left hand down. And inhale, reach the right hand up high for a twist. And exhale, lower it all the way down. Step or hop that back foot up to meet the front. Now listen closely. Just keep your balance in mind while doing this, but keep your knees nice and generously bent here. Breathe a few deep breaths. Maybe you place your palms, your wrists, right underneath your feet here. It could just be one or the other or both. And use your toes to give your wrist a nice massage. It definitely deserves it. It's a unique sensation. And you're thinking, wow, I never thought this was even a thing. But this is only if you feel like it's going to be worth it for you. Now, if your hands don't quite make it and you're like halfway here, you can rotate your wrist and release your fingertips. Or you can practice pressing away and swaying gently side to side, finding release in the shoulders. But take a few moments here to really nourish your palms and wrists. All right. Now take your feet and heel toe them together, really together. You're going to inhale, halfway lift, bend the knees, swoop the arms forward and up, lower the tailbone, and we are in chair pose. Surprise. We're doing great. Now, from here, draw your abs in. Bring your palms together at the heart center. And then rotate the torso to where your right elbow hooks onto the left thigh, right behind your knee. Don't place it on the knee, that can cause an issue. But you kind of want to turn towards where your thumbs are. Breathe. Keep those abs active. Inhale, exhale. Slowly turn your torso to the right this time. Hooking your left elbow to the right side of your legs. Breathe. You're doing great. We're going to go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to center. And inhale. Press into the heels. Lift all the way up. Reach up. Back bend. Oh. And exhale. Hands to heart. Beautiful. Ooh, we are feeling awake and alive today, my friends. At your next opportunity, go ahead and take some magical steps to the center of your mat. Since we had those contorting twists and turns and we're all crunched in and trying to open up where we're feeling closed, we're going to really open up with starfish pose. So we spend a lot of time focusing on our wrist. Now we're just going to find a good stretch out. So heel toe your feet nice and wide, a little bit wider than hip width apart. Point your toes towards the corners of your mat. Get nice and loose, maybe bend move your hips a little bit. All right, we're going to inhale, reach up. Exhale, open wide. Open your fingers as wide as they can. Think wide here. And as you exhale, bend the knees, bend the elbows, and find a bit of a saddle here. Lower. This is what they call goddess pose. We're going to inhale, reach back up, open wide. This is a very big pose. We're strong here. And exhale, bend your knees, bend your elbows. If you can't go a little deeper. Keeping your knees nice and wide. If they splay inward, you've gone too far. So just ease off of it. As long as you can keep your heart open and your knees nice and wide, press into those heels. Inhale, reach up, wiggle those fingers. Last one, exhale, lower all the way down. Bend those knees. We're staying for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, push up. Now place your hands on your hips. Hinge at the hips here. Forward fold. Lightly place your hands on the mat before you. Shake your head a little yes, a little no. Maybe you use your hands to walk to the left for a nice leg stretch on the left side. Take a breath. Now switch to the right. Take your hands for a walk to the right. Take a breath. Now back to center. All right. From here's where things get fun. We're going to bend our knees and lower our hips. But first, before you do that, bring your feet in just like a step so they're about right at hip width apart. So you heel toe them in a step. Use your palms for your leverage. Lower your tailbone down. Guide it down. Nice and easy. Use your arms to help support your legs here. And we're in garland pose. Maybe this is your stretch here. That's totally fine. But if you want a little bit more wrist action here, place your palms together against the pressure of your legs here, finding a little opposition. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Into the hips, finding a nice hip opener here. I know this is hands also. Keeping your heart open, lifting your sternum. Beautiful. I'm going to go here for 10 seconds. Again, if that's too much for you, you can have your hands support you from the ground. 7 seconds, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, and we're lowering to the mat. Bring your palms behind you to guide your hips all the way down. Beautiful. All right, so we're going to return back to our wrist stretches from before. We did a lot of opening out, so let's kind of counteractive with our thriller arms. Go ahead and reach out for you. And you can sit in cross-legged seat or maybe even a staff position like so. It's whatever works best for you. Grab hold of one wrist and pull it towards you. And maybe pull the thumb towards you and then lift your fingers up and pull it back towards you, or pull your thumb towards you, or both. Switch whenever you're ready. And maybe we do our fists nice and closed and rotate them one way. You don't have to do them all in this specific way. You could just find what feels good, because everyone's a little different with where they are. Maybe you interlace the fingers together, opposite side, opposite thumb on top as the beginning. Make figure eights, figure greats. And then shake it out. Beautiful. All right, so we're going to do a twist real quick, and we're going to do that with staff pose in mind. So, and cross your right foot over your left knee. Place your right palm behind you, lift your heart, lift your left hand up high, and then hook your left elbow behind the right knee. Heart remains lifted, and exhale into your twist. Draw the navel in. Gaze past your right shoulder. Hard part's over. And we're taking the time to cool down. Awesome. Lift the left hand off and swap. Cross your left foot over the right leg this time. Place the left hand behind you. Inhale, lift the right hand up high. Place the right elbow behind the left knee. Then go into your twist. Breathe. Draw the navel in for exhale. Gaze past your left shoulder. Don't crank into it. Use your exhale for a gentle twist. Draw your navel in. Unravel. Beautiful. Now bend the knees. And you do however suits you here. But this is both a wrist stretch as well as a hip stretch. For me today, I'm putting my fingertips facing outwards. Put your feet as wide as the yoga mat. We're doing some windshield wipers. One way and the other. Just take your time. Maybe hold one side and another, or as you rotate your hips one way and another, maybe you continue to change your position of your hands so you can get the most out of your wrist stretching. Maybe the tops of your hands are holding you here. All right. So now we're going to get a little low back stretch. What we're doing is we keep our knees nice and bent. You use your palms to walk yourself back, but keep your tailbone nice and glued in. And bend your elbows to get a good shoulder stretch, low back stretch, and wrist stretch. Heart remains lifted. Just hold this position for just a few moments. Beautiful. When you're ready, press up. And we're going to move into cobbler pose. Bring your feet together, really together. Maybe give your inner arches of your feet a massage. But take your wrist and grab hold of the ankles here and lift your heart nice and high. So we can kind of open the hips and find ease here. For the next few moments, just breathe. Enjoy the sensation. Maybe you experiment with folding forward. Continuing that low back stretch, keeping your glutes nice and glued down to the mat. Giving your heels and feet a little self-care as well. All right, now we're going to go nice and wide now. So spread your legs wide. We're going into wide-legged forward fold. Think nice and tall as you reach your hands up, hands parallel, and float them down. Toes facing your head here, keeping your knees as close to the mat as possible. Breathe. They don't have to be extremely wide. They don't have to be completely horizontal. That's perfectly okay. It's not a competition. It's just a good chance to stretch your legs, low back, and to breathe into the moment here. Remember to keep your toes nice and active. Make sure so you can protect your knees here. Breathe deep. Find ease with each passing exhale. We deepen our stretch. Just a couple more breaths here. You're doing amazing. When you're ready, walk your hands back up. Bring your legs back together. We're going to go back into our staff position, but to roll back. So, feet nice and long in front of you, toes reach up. Reel our hands And use that like to reach your palms away from you as you roll back. Nice and easy. You should feel every vertebrae of your spine as you slowly go back into a flat back position. All right. From here, press into your palms, bend your knees, feet flat on the mat, reaching towards your pelvis, and lift your tailbone off the mat. We're lifting up into bridge pose. From here, snuggle the shoulder blades in underneath the chest and interlace the palms together, pressing away from the mat. Lift the hips up towards the sky. Breathe. Hold this pose for a few moments. Use your breath. Find a deep stretch here in the low back and in the tops of the wrist. And release the palms. Roll it down. Last one here. Press back into your palms here. Inhale, lift back up. Interlace the fingertips behind the back, opposite thumb on top this time. Press away. Squeeze those glutes. Breathe. We're going to stay for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release and lower. Beautiful. All right. Go ahead and bring those knees into the chest. Give yourself a hug. You deserve it. And option now for a little yogi freestyle before we enter Shavasana. This could be your chance to do whatever you need to get the most out of your practice. For me, I'm going to simply bring myself a little low back massage by swaying gently from side to side. Might take these fingers onto my big toes and kick one leg up at a time for happy baby. Or you can go into supine twist, taking a moment or two to get a nice stretch in the torso, low back. I always suggest plow pose, just because it kind of switches perspective of things. Just take a moment or two for you before we conclude. All right, my friends. Whenever you're ready, allow your feet to spill out, your hands to relax, palms facing the sky here. If you want to wiggle your fingers and toes to then find a settling into relaxation, go for it. do what you gotta do to find ease here so we can feel complete stillness for a few moments before we end the class today. Maybe you close your eyes or soften your gaze. Find ease in the jaw and the forehead, releasing the tongue from the roof of your mouth. Find ease in parts of the body that you might find some holding or clenching. Breathe deep for a few moments, and I will cue the conclusion in a few. So take this time for you. All right, my friends. Bring your awareness back into the space. Begin wiggling your fingers and your toes. Maybe you sway your head gently one side and another. When you're ready, bend the knees and roll over to your favorite side. And take your time getting up. You can take all the time you need. And when you're ready, we'll press back up into a nice, comfortable seat. And so we conclude each of our classes in gratitude, thanking ourselves for showing up, thanking our bodies for having done what they've done today to nourish themselves and to find what feels good for you. I bow to you, and I conclude with the sacred yoga term, Namaste. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. And that's Yoga for Wellness this week, you guys. Again, you can catch us every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. in person at Hive Fitness Studios, Moravian Falls, or online. Be sure to comment below with any ideas or questions you might have. We would love to hear from you. And until next time, I hope you have a wonderful week. See you again soon.